Good afternoon and hello and welcome to Afternoon Tea with an Ambassador. I'm Lu Xin from CGTN. I'm in the capital city of Hunan province in central China. The city is called Changsha, and I'm in the main exhibition hall of the second China-Africa Economic and Trade Expo. Today we have a very interesting topic with the ambassador from one of our featured African countries, which is Rwanda. They have something very special for the people of Hunan and elsewhere in China. And this year also marks the 50th anniversary of the establishment of diplomatic relations between China and Rwanda. So I'm so excited to get going. Let's go. And first of all, let me say hi to my guests here in Changsha. To my right, my colleague.
Hi, Lucian. I'm Huang. It's my enjoying time with the ambassador. It's my great honor.
So Mr. Huang Chen was a former CCTV correspondent to Africa. To my left is a guest from Rwanda.
Yeah, thank you very much. I'm Senjumva Ale Abraham. I'm from Rwanda, as she said. I'm currently studying here in China, International Trade and Economics in Central South University of Forest and Technology. Thank you.
Central South University of Forestry and Technology. Welcome to both of you.
Thank you very much.
And of course, we have our distinguished ambassador joining us from Beijing, Ambassador James Kimonyo of Rwanda to Beijing. Ambassador, how are you? Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Leo. Thank you for having me.
Thank you very much for joining us. Tell us a bit exactly where you are at this moment.
Thank you. First of all, let me say good afternoon to our viewers. My name is James Kimonyo. I'm the ambassador of Rwanda to the People's Republic of China. I'm now in Beijing at our offices.
The warmest welcome and thank you very much for doing this with us. So today we are going to introduce the country of Rwanda and especially the products from Rwanda. I want to ask my guests here in Changsha, what do you think we're going to promote today?
Maybe coffee.
Coffee? Okay.
For me, I think it's Rwanda tea.
Rwanda tea, okay, exactly what it is. I have some small containers, some bowls here on the desk in front of me. And I think, let me see. All right, we have, you know what? Let me keep the cat in the, in the bag and ask our ambassador in Beijing to let out the answer. Ambassador, would you mind telling us exactly what would you like to feature today in this live streaming?
Thank you. I think your guests are not very far from the truth because coffee and tea are already in the Chinese market and they can be found at our pavilion in Changsha. But today, what I wanted to introduce to our friends in China, a very important product is Rwanda chili. And I have one of the famous chili paste in China that is found in the supermarkets like Kema. And it's being displayed at our booth in Changsha. And it comes in different forms. We'll talk about that later.
Yes. So chili or chili paste from Rwanda, you know, this is really interesting because anybody who knows the city of Changsha, who knows the province of Hunan, would say in Hunan or in Changsha, you don't find anything that's not spicy.
Not spicy, yeah.
And today we're actually talking about chili from Rwanda. Alan, tell me, do people eat a lot of spicy food in Rwanda?
Yeah, actually in these days, they are trying to get more used to chili, but it's not that high like in Hunan province. When I come here in China, Hunan province, also like in Changsha city, they like spicy food. So I think it's a good market for Rwanda to produce this chili for Hunan.
But still, it's we never thought that the province of Hunan or the people of Hunan would import chili from Rwanda. So, Ambassador, help us understand what's special about chili from Rwanda and where does the idea come from to export chili products from Rwanda to China?
Thank you very much. I have to say that be it chili or coffee and tea. The reason why Rwanda presents the market the best chili or coffee or tea is because of a number of factors. Number one is the weather conditions that we have in Rwanda. Just to give you a sense of how Rwanda's weather is like your spring. The temperatures are between 18 and 21 degrees Celsius. That's a very, very important factor of having good products, coffee and chili, as well as tea. Another factor is the type of soil. Most of these products, including chili, are grown on the volcanic soils. And the volcanic soils, from science, they provide nutrients to these products. And when they are harvested, they have the best aroma and the best flavor that consumers need. It is also important to underline the fact that the rainfall pattern in Rwanda is very good, because we have about 1,000 millimeters per annum, which is enough rain to make chili and other crops grow very well. But also, it's very critical to underline the fact that Rwanda is actually known as a country of 1,000 hills, which is a description of our topographic conditions, which means the chili is grown in high altitudes, which gives it a very good flavor and aroma to the consumers. The last aspect of the quality of our chili is the fact that it is one of the spiciest chilies in the world. When you use the measurement that is known for chili, which is called Scoville heat units, Rwanda's chili has more than 300, which is considered to be the second spiciest chili in the world. And that's why Hunan really is so much, in love with the Rwandan chili.
Wow. You know what? That sounds very exciting, but I'm a little bit afraid as well, because when you talk about the world's second most spiciest chili, I wonder how that tastes, and I believe we have some in front of us. But we're going to do that in just a moment. One more question, Ambassador. Is there an idea of how much Rwandan chili you are going to, or your farmers are going to export to China?
Yes, as you know, Liu, the government of China has been supporting African countries to bring their products to the Chinese market. Let me put it into a much bigger, broader perspective that will generate a shared future for mankind. And before I talk about China-Africa Economic and Trade Expo, you know that in November we have China International Import Expo, whereby you have all countries in the world presenting their products. And with that, many countries are able to present their products to the Chinese market. And this year's China-Africa Economic and Trade Expo happening in Changsha is dedicated for Africa. And that is one of the ways that the government of China has been helping countries across the globe, Africa and Rwanda included, to bring their products to the Chinese market. So particularly on chili, the government of China has helped Rwanda to allow the dried chili to be exported to the Chinese market. And I'm happy to report that recently we received the very first consignment from Rwanda and China for the first time to come to China, and it has specifically gone to Hunan. And as you know, dried chili is very, very famous there in Hunan, and we are very excited about this opportunity to be able to export dried chili to the Chinese market, and starting with the Hunan province. I want to say that in terms of quantities, we currently have an agreement to bring about 50,000 metric tons in the next 5 years, which is equivalent to almost 1,000 tons per month coming to the Chinese market. Very exciting opportunity.
Wow. Huang Cheng, what is the amount, what is 1 metric ton of chili? What does it look like? It's going to fill up a big space.
Yeah, I think so.
All that spiciness.
Yeah, you know that, and as a Sichuan people, I'm very glad to hear that we can run that chili here.
Are you a big spicy food fan?
Yes,
You
a little.
are? Okay. You know what? The ambassador has got our appetite up. Why don't we try a little bit and tell our friends on site during this tea time what Rwanda chili looks like and tastes like?
Can we do that?
Should we do that?
Yeah, of
Well,
course.
Okay, the ambassador has just shown us, just a moment, the complete dry chili. Yes?
Yes.
Very spicy. You know, I'm very afraid of spicy food.
Right.
And then we have these chili sauce. These chili sauce. Well, they already smell very
yeah,
good.
It's very spicy.
Yeah, to be careful, we have prepared some Chinese bread, steamed bun. So
Oh.
the
Yes,
chili
very-
sauce is okay. Ambassador, do you recommend that I go ahead?
You better be careful, it's very spicy.
Oh. Okay. So what is this one? Is it?
Yeah, it's very, very delicious as
It's
the
very
taste
delicious.
is very good.
The taste is
Yeah.
very good.
I can't imagine Africa is so spicy chili.
Really?
Really?
Okay, let me try a little bit.
Be careful.
Oh,
Oh. And
Yeah,
you-
sure. But I forgot to say
Very
that
spicy.
in this type of chili paste, you have mild, medium, and very,
that-
very spicy. So it
I
depends
think-
on your preference.
I think I'll
So you
stop
have to
here.
read on the.
It's better.
Yes, yes.
It's better. It's very spicy.
I think I'll stop here. It tastes delicious. I can imagine it goes very well with various types of Chinese food. But for me, someone from Jiangsu who is not very good at spicy food, I stop here. And I don't think we're going to try these.
Yeah, this
They
one.
are extremely spicy.
Yeah, they're extremely spicy.
So, but this is amazing because, you know,
Try this?
do you?
No, they're not.
You
They're
don't-
not.
You know what? I'm just going to smell it. I'm just going to open it and smell it. Oh, I'm shaking. It has a very nice flagrant.
Yeah.
But I imagine when you stir fry it, when you put it in food, it can add a lot
yeah,
of flavor.
it will be more delicious than you think.
Yeah.
But I think our Hunan citizens will enjoy this.
We'll let the people in Hunan to judge it. How about that?
Yeah,
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, but let me have a little bit of.
Yeah.
This is Rwandan
this
tea
is
as well.
Rwanda tea. Yeah, this is Rwanda tea.
Okay, so Rwandan
The
tea.
taste is very good. You can try it.
Just
How
the
is
right,
it?
Just the right thing after Rwandan chili.
Yeah. Now you are currently in Rwanda without
Yeah.
going there.
I'm
because
currently-
you are having some good taste of some good products from Rwanda. I
Yeah.
think it's a good thing.
Yeah, I mean this is exciting.
Yes,
I understand this
and
is
hot.
exciting and hot, and this is the first time, dear ambassador, that African products that is not resources, that is processed, that has been brought into the Chinese market. Help us understand what kind of efforts, what kind of investment has been put in there to help Rwandan farmers make more money out of their produce instead of just raw chili, but to help them make more profit, have more value in their trade with China.
Thank you very much. I think that's a very important question to ask ourselves. Now that we have this big market and we have farmers who are already producing chili, given the figures I just shared in terms of the quantities we need to bring to the Chinese market, what is needed is now enough investment to make sure that we produce more to be able to supply the Chinese market. But even as we speak now, we have already seen a lot of profits to the farmers. Because currently, I should say that the buying price is at about $1.5 per kilogram of dry chili. And in the Chinese market, the farmers are being offered $2.5 to close to $3 per kilogram. So you can see already the prices that are offered to our farmers are very good. And this has triggered the interest from different farmers to enter into chili production.
How about transportation? Because, we know at this moment international trade or international people-to-people exchanges have been greatly disrupted by the pandemic. How about goods trade?
Yes, we indeed, COVID-19 has disrupted global supply chains. Rwanda is blessed to have worked with China to promote e-commerce, whereby Rwandan products, coffee, chili, are being sold on Chinese electronic platforms. So that is one way of dealing with the issues of transportation of goods, even though we still have to transport chili through sea and air transport. But again, electronic platforms are becoming so critical, especially during this time when COVID-19 has disrupted global supply chains.
Sure. Has the first batch of Rwandan chili arrived in China?
Absolutely. We actually signed the protocol to bring chili to China in March. And immediately after that, the suppliers started mobilizing. And in July, we received the first consignment, and a number of containers are on their way to the Chinese market.
Great. We're really looking forward to that. So, Alan, you have been here since 2018.
Yeah.
You must not be able to go back to your home for a couple of years now. How does it feel?
For me, I think I don't feel bad, but I'm fine here because China, as you say, is a good country and also is a developing country. And the government is trying to give us the safety we must have in this kind of pandemic, and also the good measures for everyone, for every citizen of this country to have a good health in this period. I think I feel good. I feel at home here in China.
What have you found out about the transportation channels between China and Africa? You also do a bit of study in that?
Yeah, I do international trade and economics, and I have led recently due to this partnership between China and Africa. Mm-hmm. There's some transportation channel which are being built in order to facilitate this transportation of goods and services from Africa to China and also from China to Africa.
Yeah.
I think it's a good thing for this relationship, and it will help some people who want to come in Chinese markets to transport their goods very well. And
how much faster can it be? How much cheaper can it be? Do we know?
Right now, I don't know the current, the measure of the currents,
Yeah.
But according to how fast you want, it will be more expensive, but more slow it will be more cheap. But I don't know exactly the number of the transportation right now.
Yeah. Hongchen, do you have any idea about how the combined transportation channels can help save costs for traders between China and Africa?
I know something about that, and there is a Rail Sea Express train now launched on September 15th this year. And that means, this a new line combined the sea and the land. That means, after the line begins launched, that means, for the pandemic had blocked the transportation. But now the new rail and the sea express reopened. That means, the Chinese goods and the commodities and the African goods can transport from each other. I think it's a very, 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 very helpful to the trade between two nations.
Sure.
Dear Ambassador, what else would you like to promote? You say you want to be a salesperson for Rwandan products here to China. You have been an internet celebrity. You are able to sell 3,000 packages of coffee in 1 second. So what do you want to promote today?
Thank you, Leo. I have, well, indeed, we have become salesmen for our respective countries as ambassadors. I've been on the front line to do that. And as you just mentioned, we have been very successful to sell our products online. You know, live streaming has become a very effective tool to reach the consumers and present our products, which has really helped to increase our sales. And so today I would want to display to you a number of products that we bring to the Chinese market that are actually, I believe that you have seen them where you are in Changsha, that we brought. So mainly I will show you 3-4 items. Number one, of course, is chili, as we just mentioned. We have dry chili, we have chili paste, we have chili oil, and chili sauce. Actually, this you find it online. You can buy it from Hema supermarket. It's mixed with meat, which you can instantly pour on your food, rice or any other food, or it can be mixed with green beans and really very tasty. And these are products, as I mentioned, that are really gaining traction in the Chinese market because of the quality, the taste, the flavor, and the aroma. And as I said earlier, it's based on the fact that we have very good weather conditions, very good type of soil, the good altitudes, above 2,000 meters, 2,000 meters above sea level, which gives our chili very high quality and good flavor and taste for our consumers. We also have coffee. Coffee. This could be a popular packet. It's also found in the Chinese market already. It's called Gorilla Coffee, but we have other brands of coffee also. So there are different types of coffees from Rwanda, but all taste. As I hold them now, I think you can feel the flavor in the entire room where you are because of the quality. So you can drink it as pure Rwanda coffee, or there are some who would want to mix it with other coffees because of its quality. It boosts the value and taste of other coffees. We have tea, which is becoming very popular in China, and all types of tea, black tea, green tea, spice tea, orthodox tea. They are all found in this market, and if you visit our booth, you'll find them there. Again, Rwandan tea is very, very competitive, is among the top best teas in the world. Reason being the same, more or less the same. It's grown on the hillsides of Rwanda, which is above 1,800 meters above sea level, and that gives it a very high quality and has been competitive. As you know, especially in East Africa, the tea is sold through auction in Mombasa, in Kenya, and Rwanda in the last 5 years has been leading the rest of teas from the region. So, and there's a new entrant in the market, avocado oil.
Avocado oil. Mm-hmm.
Yes. It's originally from avocado. They call it purple fruit, and it is extracted from there. It's edible. It's very nice. It's already entering the Chinese market. People like it, and we are in the process of actually applying for the license to bring fresh avocado, which is also very important in the Chinese market. So we really are so excited about this opportunity. Our products are becoming very popular, and thank you for this opportunity to be able to once again communicate to the consumers and other buyers.
Dear Ambassador, you are really an excellent spokesperson for your country and for your country's produce. We're happy to serve as a platform so that more African products, more African culture can be appreciated here in the Chinese market. When you talk about trade, well, you need money.
Yes.
And cross-border trade has to be facilitated with the kind of services necessary. so that the exchange of currency, let's say, become more convenient. So I have never been to Rwanda. Dear Ambassador, would you give us the honor to help us understand what the currency of Rwanda is like, for instance, and then talk a little bit about how that part of the business is being taken care of?
Yes, our currency is called Rwandan francs, and it is found in different currencies. We have 500 banknote, 1,000, 2,000, and 5,000. So I think I've carried with me. If you want to show your viewers, I want to show you. The smallest is 500, 1,000, which you have a picture of. This is a national museum found in southern part of Rwanda. And then the other side, I think you see a monkey, golden monkey found in the Nyungwe forest again. Then you have 2,000. As you know, today we are talking about coffee. So this side you find coffee beans there. On the other side you have a very big antenna to show that Rwanda wants to be a technology-based economy. Yeah. And then you have the big one, and you can see, which is 5,000. You can see the guys there, the gorilla. Yeah. The other side you have the baskets that I was showing you, and you can go with your ATM card from China, any bank, Bank of China, any other bank here in China. You go to Rwanda, you go to ATM, you withdraw any amount you need to spend locally.
Of course. Let me come back to the table here. Huang Cheng, you have been in Africa you were in Africa for 6 years.
Yeah, 6 years.
Have you been to Rwanda? What was your experience?
Yeah, I once been to Rwanda.
What kind of currency were you using in Rwanda?
Oh, in Rwanda.
You were using Rwandan franc,
At
of
that
course.
time, not so, because I come from Kenya to Rwanda. I used dollar.
Oh.
And dollar changed in Rwanda.
Okay.
Franc.
But
And
Leo,
then-
if you allow, I think we have an opportunity here, because as we talk about the in-depth China-Africa economic and trade cooperation, the pilot zone, we are discussing how to make China-Africa trade go smoothly, especially when it comes to the currencies that is used, and there is a thinking of China-Africa cross-border R&B center, which will be a platform where people can actually make payments when they're importing and exporting goods. So that's going to be very critical in the whole process of enhancing China-Africa trade.
Alain, what was your experience? What is the exchange rate with the Rwandan franc and the renminbi about, roughly? Have you calculated?
It's like 1 RMB, it's about 163 point something.
But normally, do you still change to US dollars first and then to franc, or do you?
Yeah, there's 2 options. You can use, like, first to use USD, or you can choose to directly change from Rwanda to Chinese currency.
I see,
Yeah.
I see. Ambassador, dear Ambassador, let me come back to you. This question is also very important for many Chinese investors who are looking to further invest in Africa, especially in Rwanda. How about the investment environment in the country?
Thank you very much, Liu. That's a very good question. We are talking about the Chinese government facilitating, creating very good environment, making it easier for African products to get their way in the Chinese market. But there's one important aspect you have to critically look at: investment on the supply side. To invest in Africa so that you generate capabilities to be able to add value and export more products to the Chinese market and other markets. But for this to happen, it's very, very important that African governments undertake very comprehensive reforms in their business environment to be able to attract investments. So Rwanda has taken the lead. As you know, under the World Bank ease of doing business ranking, Rwanda is ranked number 2 on the African continent, only after Mauritius. It's ranked number 1 in East Africa. And when you talk about ease of doing business, that means the government has undertaken extensive, comprehensive reforms to make it easier for any investor, including Chinese investors, to come and invest. That means, for instance, if you want to register business in Rwanda, you do it only in 6 hours. If you want to register property, it takes a few days for you to do it. And so many other red tapes that you find in so many different economies, Rwanda has really done very well. There are other factors that are very important for investors: safety for their families, for their employees, and for the investment. Rwanda is one of the safest countries in the world, which is an important factor for any investor. But of course, there is an issue of the market that's very critical. When you think of investing in Rwanda, for instance, the first question that comes in your mind is a return on investment. Return on investment can be achieved if you are able to find a big market. Now, Rwanda is part of East Africa, which is more than 140 million people. It's part of COMESA, which is more than 400 million people. Now, very important, and last one, is the fact that the African continent, in its history, for the first time, countries have come together to form one market. Now, look at this. Africa is close to 1.3 billion people, more or less the same market as China. So if you are a smart Chinese investor and you come and invest in Africa, you're actually eyeing 2 big markets. One market is China, 1.4 billion, and another market is Africa, which is 1.3 billion. And you know, by becoming one market as Africa through Africa Continental Free Trade Area, that means you invest in Rwanda and you are eyeing the larger market in Africa. And I'm arguing, and have been talking to some Chinese friends to say there is a space there in Africa that is not occupied. And Africans are very open to Chinese investors to come and invest in Africa, because now we have become one market, and all these conditions that made it difficult for investors to do business in Africa have been removed, and that's why Rwanda is ranked among the top. So 3 areas. 1, visit Rwanda. When you see behind me that brand, Visit Rwanda, is one area that we invite investors to come and look at, because it encompasses everything to do with the tourism, hotels, real estate, resorts, sporting activities and all that. And then the other area is Made in Rwanda. Made in Rwanda gives you the opportunity to come and invest in Rwanda and produce products in Rwanda, sell in Rwanda's market in the region and beyond. The last one is Start with Rwanda, which is an opportunity for you to come and with a concept and prove it and work with us. We test risk with you, we support you with all the needed support for you to be able to scale up your business and begin to export. So Rwanda is ready, and I want to use this opportunity to really urge the Chinese business leaders to look at Rwanda as their first entry point for them to be able to tap the African market.
I'm sure a lot of potential investors will be interested. Coming back here to the Hunan table, Huang Cheng, you have been to Rwanda. What was your impression of the kind of will or the kind of perception of Chinese investment in Rwanda? Were people enthusiastic to have more development opportunities with the cooperation of Chinese investors?
Yes, and the Chinese businessmen in Rwanda, they are very satisfied with the support from the government. And they told me that the government is high efficiency and they are disciplined. That means, and also just they can, if they want to set up a company, and they just maybe in number one day,
Not
they can
more than
register
one
in the
day.
government.
Mm-hmm.
So they said that comparing with the whole African country, maybe Rwanda is among the best for the business friendly to the
But
people.
what are the potential cultural barriers, cultural language barriers when Chinese investors or Chinese travelers or Chinese journalists who go and work in Africa, did you experience some learning curve when you went there first?
Yes, of course. You know that I stayed in Africa for 6 years, and it's very totally different from before I entered Africa and after 6 years. I found Africa is colorful and incredible. That means that, and when you step into Africa, and you as if you were walking into an ancient civilization that disappeared forever at first. But most importantly is that the native people, and they maybe live slow, but they think smart. I tell you one story. In my company, and once I asked my company driver to drive me to one place.
Your local driver?
Yeah, local driver. I did not tell him where I want to go, but before I realized it, he has arrived at the very place I want to go.
Yeah.
I was very surprised. Asked him, how did you know I want to go where I want to go? He just said, I just know it. I mean that when the local people accept you, they will become very considerable and very warm. So I think that and that's very, 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 very impressive memory and in Africa, such as many things.
So when you went there, you thought maybe it's difficult to communicate with the local people, but actually after a while, when you get to know each other, communication becomes much easier.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Alan, what was your experience the other way around?
Yeah, for me, before coming to China, I was somehow exposed to some Chinese culture through cinema. I used to watch Chinese Kung Fu. So at that time, I used to think that every Chinese, they know how to play Kung Fu. So meanwhile...
and it's not the case.
Yeah, it's not the case. Yeah. Meanwhile, I also got an opportunity to watch on TV, like some Olympic Games in Beijing 2008. At that time, I wish to come to visit China because I say it's a good country. I have to experience this way.
Did you go through some ups and downs, like a learning experience so that you finally understand the Chinese people are very different, but also very close, very similar?
Yeah, of course. While I come here in China, I have studied more about Chinese culture and also Chinese language. And even I used to think that Chinese language is very, very difficult. But if you come here and you take your 1 year, it's enough for you to speak very fluent Chinese.
Yeah,
and
you want to say something in Chinese?
Of course, you can say hi, 你好，我叫 Alan， 我现在在乡下，我是留学生，我学习国际贸易。So I can speak more than that. And
so you can go around with no problem communicating with the local
yeah,
people?
with no problem.
Yeah.
Let me even tell you some story.
Yeah.
I got opportunity to have some internship. I currently work in hotel as a waiter, but that hotel I speak fluent Chinese. If you want to serve, you give someone good services, so you have to speak good Chinese. So this is the good experience I've had in China, and which helped me to to live here in China.
Great. Well, you have the opportunity because you already know this place, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you live here.
Yeah.
So, dear Ambassador, in terms of the kind of cultural differences or similarities, what advice would you give to the millions of people who might be watching in Africa and wondering what China is or how difficult it might be to deal with Chinese business people or to do business with Chinese people? What would be your advice or suggestion?
Well, it's a very good question, and I would want to say that it's so exciting for me to be in China. You may want to know that I have served in so many different continents, different countries. I've met with different people, experienced different cultures. But I tell you, we have wonderful people. And there are similarities in our traditions and culture and how you treat strangers and visitors and guests, and the hospitality really that you get from the Chinese people is very unique. And you meet with the Chinese for business over lunch or dinner. That is time to enjoy. It's not about eating and going. You eat in the middle of your meal. You stand up. You go around. You talk to a person across the table, and you exchange ideas. That's where you actually do business around the meal or food with the friends and the business people you talked about. So I should say that my experience has been exciting, and and the perception that if you go to China, it's very difficult for you to communicate with people. Apparently, that's the perception. You have so many Chinese speaking other languages, and when you are here, you actually try to. I'm not like LA, but I can order some food when I go to a restaurant. So it's really, I should say, my experience is wonderful, is a good experience. And I want to say something, Liu. Because I came in China in 2019, that was my first time. Stereotypes are terrible things, are very dangerous. Because you have not been to China, what you see in the Western media is totally different from what you see when you come to China. This country has really been very, so advanced, is so developed. People have worked very hard to move from where this country was 40 years ago, and it's something that should be commended by anyone who comes to China, whether it is in the capital or whether it is other cities or rural areas. I want to express my appreciation for what the government of this country has done, the people of this country have done to change their lives. So when you come here is when you begin to tell the story, wow, China has done extremely well. So I should say that my experience has been wonderful, has been exciting, and I still want to, if COVID is behind us, want to explore and go to many other parts of this country.
Thank you, Ambassador, for those generous comments and extremely positive. We want to show to the world how China really is, so that there is greater understanding. And I understand also in Chinese we say 患难见真情, meaning in times of difficulty, true friendship shines through. And I think that has been a very good example over the past few years, 1.5 years, especially because of the pandemic. So I want to find out a little bit more about what these two countries have been doing in terms of helping each other to fight the virus. Huang Cheng, what do you know about what kind of exchanges, what kind of help the two countries have been giving each other in those difficult times?
I know something, and at the very beginning of the pandemic, I was very moved by our African brothers and sisters. That at that time, China is in urgent need of masks. And almost all African countries are open and very positive to net the masks exported to China. And there is a story.
So they did not restrict the export of masks.
Yeah, even the block is not enough, but they let us quiet. And yes, and let the masks export to China. And especially the customers, they keep them very quickly.
Customs.
Yeah.
The
very
customs.
Quickly.
Okay, they clear the goods.
Yeah, clear goods very quickly, and so that at the very beginning, China can get the necessary supply of the masks. But that in turn, when China is the situation under control, China sends the medical teams and also send the masks and also vaccines to our African brothers and sisters.
Yeah.
I think, and we are really, a friend in need is a friend indeed, I think.
Let me get back to our ambassador. What kind of measures have been taken place to facilitate the collaboration between China and Rwanda, for instance, in fighting the pandemic? Yeah, Ambassador, how is the situation in Rwanda? Sorry, I really should ask this first. Are there a lot of cases? What is the situation now?
Yeah, Rwanda has done extremely well in terms of containing the spread of the virus by more or less applying the same measures that China applies in terms of making sure that people protect themselves by wearing masks, cleaning their hands, social distancing, and applying other measures where necessary. For instance, if you have an outbreak in a particular area, they are put under lockdown, restricted movement, reducing hours for people to go out, and that has really, made Rwanda to be able to contain it, and to the point where now people are freely moving in the country, of course taking precautions. And Rwanda has been removed on the list that of the countries that are restricted from traveling to Europe and other parts of the world because of the fact that we have been able to contain the virus. So we have done that, and that's why we are seeing the number of tourists increasing, because they know when they come to Rwanda they are safe, and we make sure that their safety is ensured. So that is the situation as we speak now. In the past few months we have had another wave which we were able to contain, and we are happy to say that currently the situation is really, really better than what we had in the past few months.
What kind of cooperation?
So yeah, in terms of cooperation, as I just said, China was the first few days before we had registered cases on the continent. China was in shock, and many countries stood with China in terms of moral support, and where possible, some materials. I know some business leaders in Rwanda mobilized some masks and all that. But to a large extent, China really, supported many African countries, including Rwanda. China was the first respondent in terms of providing PPEs for Rwanda in the first few days, where the government and everybody was in shock and confused, and without knowing what to do. And so China really supported us by providing those materials. Of course, subsequently, the government was able to buy more from China, but as countries were trying to contain the spread of the virus, the scientists were, working day and night to come up with vaccine, and Chinese scientists were among the first in the world to come up with the vaccine. And when the vaccine was ready, you may want to know that the Chinese government already donated thousands of vaccines to Rwanda, and we are very appreciative of that. Of course, in our cooperation we have Chinese medical teams that are on the ground, and they helped supported the Rwandan teams to deal with the pandemic.
Well, we're really happy to see that there has been so many measures, so many cooperation going on to help countries fight the virus together. So that's great news. Now, looking forward, Alain, tell us a little bit your plan for the next 2-3 years. Are you going to graduate soon? Yeah. What is your plan?
Yeah, right now I will graduate next year, and my plan is to continue study here in China. I want
to continue studying.
Yeah, I will study master's degree.
Okay.
Yeah, in cross-border e-commerce.
Where do you want to go?
Anywhere in China, I'm fine.
Okay.
And the reason why I want to study cross-border e-commerce, right now in Africa and also in Rwanda, there's some little challenge which are facing this industry of cross-border e-commerce. So as I got a big opportunity in my life to come to study in China as the best country in this industry for cross-border e-commerce, it's a good opportunity to get that master's degree to increase my knowledge and skills so that I can share to Rwandans, and also I can share to Africa in general.
Great. So you want to dedicate yourself to this field?
Yeah, sure.
Great. Huang Cheng, in terms of work, you have spent 6 years in Africa. You're half African now.
Yeah, I'm also one.
But now you come back to China. What is your plan?
My plan is that
do you want to continue having to do with Africa?
Of course. You know that when I heard anything about Africa, I was especially excited about that. Yeah. I have stayed in Africa 6 years. I think I have special emotion and feelings about Africa. So whenever I'm sure I pay much more attention with Africa's news, bad or good. than the normal people who have no such experience in Africa.
Hopefully, there won't be too much bad news coming out of Africa.
Yeah.
Finally, dear Ambassador, as I mentioned in the beginning of the tea that we're having here, this year we also mark the 50th anniversary of diplomatic relations. Actually, it falls sometime in November, I understand. It's coming up. So what are your expectations in terms of bilateral ties, including economic and trade ties?
Thank you very much. Indeed, this year we are celebrating 50 years of our bilateral cooperation with China. And we have enjoyed decades of warm and friendly bilateral cooperation. Reflected in many different areas, in trade, in investment, in education, in health, and many other sectors. During the opening ceremony of China-Africa Economic and Trade Expo, our president was among the speakers, the three presidents who spoke, the president of Rwanda, Senegal, and Algeria. And in his statement, he actually did say that our intention, Rwanda's intention, is to deepen our friendship even further in the coming half-century of cooperation, which means building on the milestones of our bilateral cooperation in the last 50 years. We will be thinking forward, going forward, what do we do together? How do we continue to work with China? And China is already really in the high gears in terms of working with Africa, bilaterally, but also through the Forum on China-Africa Cooperation, FOCAC, whereby China is really supporting mainly the African continent to bridge the infrastructure gap. And of course, Rwanda, we have a number of projects supported through that framework, but also through Belt and Road Initiative. We are looking at other important sectors like education, health, agricultural transformation, technology, and so on and so forth. So we have a number of areas that we want to focus on so that we are able to build on the milestones and the achievements we have had and going forward to be able to achieve more in our partnership. So on 12th of November, we'll be coming together with our Chinese friends to celebrate. And as we celebrate, we also think of how we continue to build a very positive and prosperous future for our common interest.
Thank you so much, dear Ambassador, for those kind words of hope and great expectations. I'm sure a lot more will happen, and I'm sure the people here will continue to enjoy all the products that you have promoted, including, first and foremost, the chilies. And once again, let's wish all the very best for the chilies. I'm sure the people here in Hunan will love it. Yes, and I'll continue to try a little bit of the chili. Yeah, one more of the chili paste. Yes. Well, not much for me, not much. But once again, thank you so much, dear Ambassador. Thank you for your time and your insights. Yeah.
Thank you. I hope to see you in Beijing. When you come visit our embassy, we have coffee and talk more about Rwanda.
Thank you so much. I'll see you back in Beijing in the near future. Thank you.
Thank you. Safe travels back to Beijing.
Thank you. And I understand the staff will possibly show the audiences around of the embassy, but that is it for this Tea Time with an Ambassador, hosted by me, Liu Xin from CGTN, and my friend Alan from Rwanda, Huang Cheng from CMG. And many thanks for all of you who have been following us. I hope to see you next time at the same time. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Cheers. Bye. Okay, welcome to the Embassy of Rwanda here in Beijing. We are based in Chaoyang. Our main mission here is to strengthen, foster our bilateral cooperation with China. And the major component of our business here is to attract investment from China to Rwanda. And of course, attract tourists from China to come and visit Rwanda. That's why when you enter our embassy, immediately you see the gorillas This is one area where we get a lot of tourists from across the world to come and see these special animals that are found in the mountains in the north of Rwanda. And so we basically located here, and we can go to my office to have a further conversation. And if you have any questions. So I have two entrances, the other one is there. This is my entrance. All right. So welcome. We
So the distraction refers to Gabby as a female who. There you go.
oh,
When Chris Helen
let's get here. Yes. So the new office. Hamagara. So
need for a better life will not change. Going forward, while making relentless efforts to respond to COVID-19, we will continue to expand domestic demand. We will coordinate supply side structural reform and demand side management. We will tap the potential consumption by.
So the office and other offices, we have decorations from Rwanda, mostly handicrafts. These are called imigongo, and they are handmade, especially from the eastern part of Rwanda. So they're in different shapes and designs. So I chose these two, but you can see many others. And here you have, these are called baskets. As you can see, they are handmade, so detailed, and they are mostly weaved by women. And they also have different designs. As you can see, this is one type, this is another type, and different from made from different materials. These are grasses, dried and painted in colors. So you can choose this one design, and you have this is like from Saiso is another design. These are also handcrafts. It's wood. It's a drum. They can make it in different sizes for real drumming activity. You have big and same. This is another drum, another size, also with more or less the same designs like that one. And these are normal carvings also. This is rhino. It's handmade also. Very popular with Chinese people, like them. And these are found in, the rhinos are found in the eastern part of Rwanda, in Akagera National Park, where you find the big five, lion, elephants, and others. So they're also handmade. And this, again, is also a basket, but this is a basket made from wood. It's also wood carving. So here, you actually, like, ladies use this to keep their jewels, any precious items next to your bed or in your office. But traditionally, these were used to even store food or carry food when you are going to visit a friend or family member. You put sorghum, you put maize, you put beans, whatever you want. You can carry it and you know, in this basket. But they are, as you can see, also used for decoration. Yeah. And that's it. And this is a popular guy, the gorilla, that we showed. They are found in the northern part, in the mountains in the north, and they have attracted a lot of tourists from across the world, including China, and they are bringing a lot of foreign exchange for our country. So that's again. To thank you for visiting, and wish to welcome you and welcome friends from China to visit Rwanda, because Rwanda is ready, is safe, is peaceful, and we have so many places to visit, national parks, lakes, museums, and apart from that, we enjoy the hospitality and warm heart, you know, from our people, the people of Rwanda. Very welcoming, and I would want once again to welcome the Chinese people to visit Rwanda. And one last thing, you may want to know that all Chinese don't need visa from before they depart. They just get their visas on arrival, which makes it easier for any traveler. Thank you. 欢迎来到卢旺达。